This week on Amazing Archaeology, survival meets mystery in the shifting sands of time. From a civilization that outwitted climate collapse in ancient Peru to the rediscovery of a sleeping god in marble, we're traveling from drought to divinity and finding that humanity's oldest stories are written not just in stone, but in sheer resilience. There are vanished cities, prehistoric tools, watchtowers guarding dead empires, and even a medieval book still wrapped in sealskin fur. So dust off your curiosity, steady your torch hand, and join us as we unearth survival, secrets, and sleeping gods. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe, share this dig with your favorite history addict, and let's see what's new for this week. In the parched valleys of coastal Peru, archaeologists have uncovered a story of survival that rewrites how we think about ancient collapse. Around 4,200 years ago, the people of Caral, the oldest known civilization in the Americas, faced a devastating drought that should have ended them. Instead, they adapted, moved, and left behind a warning carved in clay and stone. Led by Dr. Ruth Shady, researchers found haunting friezes at the site of Vichama, showing skeletal figures with hollow bellies, pregnant women, and lightning striking a toad, a symbol of returning rain. Rather than descending into violence, the people of Caral resettled nearby, carrying their monumental architecture, their art, and their sense of identity with them. Archaeologists have unearthed their new homes, complete with intricate pyramids, plazas, and depictions of famine and renewal. These murals are more than decoration, they're messages for the future, reminders of a civilization that endured crisis through cooperation, trade, and balance with nature. In a world obsessed with power and conquest, Caral's quiet resilience stands out as a rare testament to a society that survived catastrophe not through force, but through wisdom. In the foothills of Iraq's Zagros Mountains, archaeologists have revealed something astonishing: the remains of a monumental 5,000-year-old structure that may transform our understanding of how the world's first cities spread their influence. At Khani Sheh, near modern Suleymania, researchers have uncovered a vast ceremonial building dating to around 3300 to 3100 BCE, right at the dawn of urban civilization. Decorated with geometric mosaics made from colorful clay and stone cones pressed into plaster, the building appears to have been both administrative and sacred, a temple at the edge of Uruk's world. The discovery suggests that Uruk, often called humanity's first city, projected its reach much further than previously thought. Cylinder seals, a fragment of gold jewelry, and finely crafted artifacts hint at bureaucracy, trade, and wealth in a settlement nearly 300 miles from Uruk itself. The team believes it took about 2 weeks to walk between the two sites, proof that even in the 4th millennium BCE, ideas, power, and faith traveled astonishing distances. If confirmed, this monumental structure could mark the first evidence of Uruk's cultural empire, stretching beyond Mesopotamia, reshaping how we imagine the world's earliest civilization. Near the ancient Roman city of Volubilis in Morocco, a joint Moroccan-Polish team has unearthed 2 remarkably preserved Roman watchtowers and a mysterious tomb that may shed light on how the empire guarded its farthest frontiers. The find, made just outside modern Meknes, shows that Rome's presence in North Africa was more militarized and more complex than previously assumed. The towers, dating from between the 1st and 3rd centuries CE, once formed part of a defensive chain protecting the Mauritania-Tingitana province, the empire's westernmost outpost. Nearby, archaeologists uncovered a large burial mound surrounded by a circular ditch, roughly 130 feet wide. This tumulus tomb style predates the Romans and belongs to the Mauritanian tradition, suggesting local customs persisted long after Rome arrived. Ceramics from the site are still being analyzed, but the discovery points to a world where imperial soldiers, traders, and native peoples coexisted on the shifting edge of empire. Volubilis itself flourished at the same time, its mosaics and villas a reminder that Rome's influence reached deep into Africa. Yet it was always a frontier land, where watchtowers stood guard over the border between worlds. On the ancient plains of Kenya's Turkana Basin, archaeologists have uncovered one of the most extraordinary time capsules in human history. a stretch of land where early humans made the same stone tools for nearly 300,000 years. At the Namorotakunen site, dating from roughly 2.75 to 2.44 million years ago, researchers found thousands of Oldowan tools, the earliest known form of human technology, astonishingly consistent in design despite millennia of climate chaos, droughts, and firestorms. These sharp-edged flakes, made by striking stones together, were our ancestors' first multi-purpose instruments, cutting meat, scraping hides, cracking bones. The real revelation, though, is endurance. Generations of toolmakers passed down their craft through radical environmental change, hinting at a deep-rooted resilience. As one researcher put it, this wasn't a burst of innovation, but cultural continuity on an epic scale. The tools even bear marks of butchery, linking them to the earliest meat-eating evidence known. At a time when rivers moved and grasslands burned, our forebears didn't just survive, they built the first technological tradition in history, proving that adaptation began not with fire or farming, but with the steady rhythm of stone striking stone. Beneath the streets of modern Gothenburg, archaeologists have peeled back the layers of time to reveal Niodosa, a forgotten 16th century city that once stood where Sweden's second-largest city now thrives. Excavations in the Gamla Staden district uncovered fortifications, homes, and farmland that together formed a rare portrait of early modern urban life on the cusp of Sweden's rise as a European power. The southern edge of the old city featured a rampart, moat, and gate built around 1530, marking the boundary of a fortified settlement that combined trade, agriculture, and defense. Inside the walls, researchers unearthed modest houses, cultivated plots, and everyday artifacts, pottery, coins, tools, even devotional trinkets, painting a vivid picture of life that was both humble and industrious. The city was abandoned and rebuilt twice before finally being deserted in 1624, when residents were moved to the new city of Gothenburg. Over centuries, its ramparts were buried beneath farmland, then factories, and finally the urban sprawl of the industrial age. Now, thanks to years of excavation, the lost city has re-emerged, showing how Sweden's modern identity was built quite literally on the remains of its forgotten past. In Bergen, Norway, a remarkable relic has surfaced from centuries of obscurity, a tiny medieval songbook bound in sealskin still covered in fur. Recently donated to the National Library, this modest manuscript may be Norway's oldest surviving book. Passed down for generations on a local farm, the 8 surviving pages date to at least the 13th century, containing Latin hymns once sung during church services. Its sealskin binding, still furry to the touch, is virtually unique, suggesting it was made locally in a monastery or parish for everyday use rather than display. The book's simplicity is what makes it so special. It isn't a jewel-encrusted treasure for nobles, but a working tool for clergy, a rare glimpse into the spiritual routines of medieval Norway. DNA testing is now underway to identify the exact species of seal and the origins of the calfskin parchment, potentially pinpointing where it was crafted. One scholar described it as the kind of book a priest would carry to Mass, not one collected for beauty. That ordinariness, paradoxically, is its magic. A humble survivor of a time when faith was lived, sung, and worn smooth by the touch of human hands. In Jena, Germany, a centuries-old sword has finally revealed its maker's name, hidden beneath centuries of corrosion. Thanks to cutting-edge CT scanning, researchers have discovered the inscription Clemmes Stam, the mark of a renowned Solingen swordsmith active around 1600, inlaid in copper on the blade. The weapon, a finely wrought rapier, was unearthed from the ruins of the city's collegiate church, destroyed in the final days of the Second World War. For decades, it was a rusted mystery until archaeologists at the University of Jena decided to virtually unwrap it using microcomputed tomography. What they found beneath the incrustation was extraordinary. The sword's blade, forged from welded steels, bore intricate copper lettering, just 0.6 millimeters thick, proving it was the work of an elite craftsman whose weapons were prized by nobles across Europe, even the Spanish court. Such a rapier could only have belonged to a man of high rank, perhaps a rector or noble student at the university. For the first time in 400 years, the weapon's silent craftsmanship has spoken again, its maker's name emerging like a ghost from the steel. In Siena, beneath centuries of whitewash, a medieval masterpiece has come back to life. Hidden in the cellar of the Santa Maria della Scala hospital complex, Lipovani's 14th century fresco cycle, the Thebaid, has been painstakingly restored after lying forgotten for hundreds of years. Painted in the early 1340s, the work originally decorated the entrance hall of the Compagnia dei Disciplinati, a brotherhood devoted to charity, prayer, and self-punishment through flagellation. The frescoes show the hermits of Egypt's Thebes, the so-called Desert Fathers, living austere lives of faith and repentance. First glimpsed in the late 1990s, when restorers noticed faint traces beneath flaking plaster, the frescoes have now been fully uncovered, their colors revived after 700 years in darkness. Their rediscovery bridges medieval spirituality and modern conservation, offering a window into the minds of people who believed redemption was earned through pain. The work's survival feels miraculous, a scene of divine endurance painted by men who whipped their own backs, now re-emerging intact to remind us of the strange beauty of faith at its most extreme. Fortunately, the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in Italy is long over, though its legacy still smolders in Herculaneum. Archaeologists have restored and reinstalled a wooden cupboard that miraculously survived Vesuvius's fury nearly 2,000 years ago, complete with its Roman tableware still in place. When the volcano struck, Herculaneum wasn't buried in ash like Pompeii, but entombed in waves of searing gas and mud that carbonized wood and preserved it perfectly. The cupboard, blackened but intact, was discovered in 1937 beside the Grand House of the Bicentenary, offering a haunting glimpse of domestic life frozen mid-moment. Now, after a delicate restoration, it's once again on display in the town's Antiquarium Museum, exactly as it appeared in the 1930s reconstructions. Every cup, jug, and bowl sits where it was found, as if the family had just stepped out to escape the heat, only for eternity to intervene. The exhibit restores more than an artifact. It revives a vision once used by archaeologist Amedeo Maiuri to present Herculaneum as a living Roman city. Through this carbonized furniture, we see not death but continuity, a wooden whisper from a civilization turned to ash. In the Croatian city of Pula, archaeologists have uncovered a breathtaking marble statue of Cupid, the Roman god of love, found asleep on a lion's skin, perfectly preserved after nearly 2 millennia underground. Measuring just under 3 feet long, the 2nd century sculpture was discovered inside a collapsed room of a Roman domus on Castropola Street, surrounded by fragments of frescoed plaster and marble debris. The fine-grained white marble and exquisite craftsmanship mark it as a work of exceptional quality, one of the most significant finds ever made in Pula. Cupid reclines with serene innocence, one wing broken, a tiny lizard at his side, a rare symbol of rebirth and renewal found on only a handful of similar statues. The pose alludes to the myth of Cupid stealing Hercules' lion skin, a playful nod to love's power over strength. Now undergoing careful laser cleaning and restoration, the sculpture will soon join the permanent collection of the Archaeological Museum of Istria. It's a discovery that blurs the line between archaeology and art, reminding us that even gods, it seems, need their rest. From the drought-stricken survivors of ancient Peru to the sleeping god of Pula, this week's discoveries remind us just how fragile and enduring civilization can be. Across continents and centuries, people built, worshipped, adapted, and dreamed, leaving behind echoes of their resilience in everything from carved stone to sealskin pages. Even when buried by ash, forgotten beneath cities, or whitewashed into oblivion, their stories still find a way to rise again. History, after all, doesn't disappear. It waits. Sometimes for millennia, sometimes just for the right archaeologist with a trowel and a bit of luck. And as long as we keep digging, the past will keep rising up to meet us. Speaking of which, if you want to meet us again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go.